We are back with more leaks for the August pack. Now, if you missed out on the last video, make sure to check it out. There are two of them on the August pack. And for this Sunday, I'm going to have a big leak. Also, I'll just be confirming if Kashtira is coming or not on that stream. Now, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, August pack. Boom. Sky Striker. This may not look like it, but this is Sky Striker support. What is going on here? Sage of Benevolence, Celia. And I'll straight up say this, that the Sage cards are not really seeing use in tournaments. So you tell me if you're big brain enough to make this work. This card is always treated as a Sky Striker card. Now, immediately that's a problem because it's not considered a Sky Striker Ace card. So if we look at this real quick, the Engage could search for it because it searches for any Sky Striker card. But Sky Striker Ace, Ray, Sky Striker Ace, Rose, why does that matter? Well, if you read the Sky Striker monsters, they require a non-fire Sky Striker Ace monster. Other one, Ace monster, Ace monster. So you can't even link with the Sage monsters that are considered to be Sky Striker monsters into your links. So what the heck is going on? Now, don't worry, there's going to be a really good Sky Striker card that's going to be so good that non-Sky Striker decks will be using it. Any deck with light or darks is going to like it. We'll talk about that in a bit. So what does this do? You could discard a spell. Can't normal summon this, besides tributing, of course. Discard one spell, special summon this card from your hand. You can banish one spell from your graveyard, give control of this card to your opponent, and if you do, special summon a Sky Striker Ace from your graveyard. Okay, now why would we want to be doing that? If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you could target one of your banished Sky Striker spells, add it to your hand. Okay, so I guess if you want to recycle your Kagari, this works on special summon. But there's also a problem with a card like Kagari and all of the Sky Striker Ace links. They state they can only be special summoned once per turn. So if you Kagari'd on another turn, you could then use this to special summon your Kagari back from the graveyard after the turn it was already summoned. And then you would give it to your opponent in 1000 defense, and then you could swing into the Sela, kill it, and then it gets its effect to add back the banished Sky Striker card that you banished, or any Sky Striker spell that you banished, or that is banished. Okay, so kind of interesting. Boom, Sage of Strength, Akash. So they have the similar effect of if destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to add back a banished Sky Striker card, and also the similar effect of discard a spell to special summon this card from the hand. So what's different? If a link monster you control would be destroyed, you can banish one spell from your graveyard instead. Now, I don't know about you, but there are some cool cards that work from the graveyard or the hand with a similar effect to protect your monster. This doesn't work from the hand or the grave. This has to be on the field. On the field, after you discard a spell to special summon this, if your link monster would be destroyed, you could banish one spell from your grave instead. And that's it. Destruction Protection. 2400, level 5. So we got a 6 and a 5. So even if you wanted to toss in some Exceeds with the same level, the rank, you're not going to even be able to summon it so far. How about Wisdom of Sage, 2 level 5s. So I guess that could work if we want to rank 5 Exceed with this. Same effect, discard a spell, special summon. If destroyed, add a banished Sky Striker spell. So what's the different part of this? It's got a big D, defense, 2500 defense. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a link monster you control, you could banish 2 spells to negate that effect. Wow. Not banish 1 spell, banish 2 spells from the graveyard. Again, this has to be on the field, and then I guess you could try to make your plays. Now, there's a problem again, but beyond it not being an ace, these cards that want to be on the field, they kind of mess up your Sky Striker cards because the main thing about your Sky Striker spells, they all state, if you control no monster in your main zone, if you control no monster in your main zone, if you control no monster in your main zone. So you're putting a body in the main zone, and then I guess, yeah, you're going to have to, make your plays first. then summon this, and then I guess go into your link with a different Sky Striker card. Hopefully, you can't Hornet Drones with this already in the field. So you'd have to Hornet Drones first, let's say, then discard Special Summon Wisdom, then go into your Sky Striker, and if they wanted to impermanence it, you get to banish 2 spells. Hopefully, you already have 2 spells in the graveyard to banish, but then you're banishing 2 spells, and then a card like an Engage. You have to have 3 or more spells in the graveyard to get the additional effect to draw 1. You need to have 3 or more spells to have the effect of taking control of monster. So I feel like this is just really, really weird. The Benevolence Sela, this is kind of okay. I guess like a follow-up, but can we afford to play a follow-up? I don't know about you. Now, let's get to the good Sky Striker card. There is a good one. Boom. Azalea. This is great. It's so good. Non-Sky Striker decks that play light and or dark monsters can play this. So let's pretend you're not a Sky Striker deck. When this is special summoned, you could target 1 card on the field, destroy it. Then if you have 3 or less spells in the graveyard, you send this card to the graveyard. So let's compare this to a card like Donner. Donner's a card that a lot of people were playing in non-For Hire decks. As you can see right here, most used in For Hire, of course, then Madolche, then Gene Raider. This would be able to target itself and 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy them. But it doesn't require light or dark. It's just 2 monsters with different types. But the Azalea can target back row. So this is monster or back row. And the downside is you have to use light or dark monsters to summon it. Link 2, 1500 attack. This one is 16. This has another effect, though. Once per turn, at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, start of the damage step being before the monster flips face up, you could banish a spell from your graveyard, destroy that opponent's monster. So that's quite interesting. If you could either pass on the first effect if you don't have enough spells in the graveyard, or you summon it with enough spells in the graveyard to keep this on the field, and then you get to destroy cards at the start of the damage step by banishing spells from the graveyard. And this also works during your opponent's turn. So if you're able to take out their monster on your turn, it's left up, they swing into it, you have another spell in the graveyard to banish, and then you're good. It is once per turn, though. And then, of course, Sky Striker should have 3 or less spells in the... they're going to have 3 or more spells in the graveyard to keep this on the field. And what's weird is this requires light and or dark. This is earth, like this is fire, and this is water. It's like the new cards don't even work with the new card. What was Konami thinking? That maybe in Master Duel we'll figure out something good with this? Please do. I have no idea. Now, on to the next deck type. Well, you know, first, let's take a quick little gander. Not going to waste too much time here. It's going to be 2 seconds. If I click on Engage, we could see some recent decks that are playing it. Of course, Sky Striker themselves. So I guess something like this would be... I mean, they're not going to be playing the new cards, are they? At least Azalea would be used. This is a Master 1 deck. All right, looking good. And okay, we got replays and notes there. Very cool, very cool. So there you go. Check out the deck and how to build Sky Striker for real, the good way. Now, what is this? Adventurer Token. You may not know this. Most people did not know this. It's actually considered a deck type. Look at this. These are all Adventurer Token cards. Konami wanted you to play a field spell or 2 and all these other crazy cards, but then they accidentally made the main 5 cards you see here, the Fateful Adventure, Draco Back, Rite of Eresmere, Semi-Limited, and OCG, banned in Japan, Griffin Rider. I mean, they just screwed this up so bad. It was so techable. And you got to be thinking, why didn't they put a downside to these cards to make it not techable? Well, they did. They just didn't do it very well. This states that you cannot activate monster effects on the field the turn you activate this card, which means even before you activate this. Some cards will say for the rest of the turn, this is even before and after this activation. You cannot activate monster effects on the fields except special summoned. So just your normal summon monsters cannot activate. And everyone was thinking, okay, most great decks don't even activate an effect of a normal summon monster anyway. So this saw a lot of use and then had to get banned in Japan. So let's get to the topic at hand. I have this card and another one that's going to support the deck type of Adventurer. If you control token, which the Rite of Mirror will be summoning, you can special summon this card from your hand. Otherwise, you could normal summon it. Reveal one card in your hand that mentions Adventurer token. All of these cards do, the good ones even. And then you could add a spell that mentions Adventurer token from your deck to your hand. It's like, whoa, adding Rite of Mirror, that's nuts. But except a normal spell. So like they made sure this wasn't good. Instead, I guess you could add Fateful Adventure. Then Fateful Adventure could search for your Enchantress, which could then be discarded, then banished to grab your Rite of Mirror. And then you could have that, and then you get the Draco back, but you're not going to have access to the Griffin if you're using the Fateful Adventure to search for the Enchantress. So kind of interesting. I don't know about this. I'll be honest, I don't know what the pure Adventurer deck type does because no one's playing it. I don't think there's a single deck list that is playing pure Adventure. If I'm just going to like open up a bunch of these cards, I look at this. Virtual World is playing some of these cards. Illegal Knight. We have Adventurer Tenyi, which is not a pure Adventurer deck. Like if you look at this deck, this is not Adventurer. It's just the Adventurer engine. The deck type name is correct. It's just not a pure Adventurer deck. Now, what else can we say about this? You cannot special summon the turn you activate this effect except Adventurer token or monsters that mention it. That is insane. This is not for the rest of the turn. This is the entire turn. So Konami knew that they screwed up with the Rite of Mirror. So they changed this. Instead of you cannot activate monster effects, it's now you cannot special summon monsters before or after this effect except the Adventurer token or monsters that mention it. Wow. Okay, let's get to another card. Boom. Curse of Arimater. I'm sure I said that correctly. Continuous spell. During your main phase, special summon an Adventurer token. Well, the only good way to get the token out so far has been, let me copy this real quick. It's been the Rite of Mirror. That's been the main way to get, a good way to get the token out. So is this now a good way, another good way? Then you have to send a card from your hands to the graveyard. So that is unfortunate. I feel like even if you didn't have to discard, this probably would still not see use, but sure. It was similar to the Fateful Adventure. Instead of searching, you're just summoning a token. Now, it's got the other downside again. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except Adventurer tokens and monsters that mention it. This downside is not mentioned on Fateful Adventure, which is straight up a way better card. So Konami just being over careful. They're admitting that they've made this too techable, and they actually wanted you to play it in a pure deck type. But this is not the way to do it. What else does do? If a monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you could special summon a token to either fields, and then both effects are hard once per turn. Okay, destroyed by battle or card effect. I don't know if you have a cool way to maybe destroy your own card by card effect that triggers something, and then you get another token on the field. So I'm thinking like a Baron to floor, popping your own card, but it's like, why are you even thinking about Baron to floor? You're not allowed to think about anything crazy because you can't special summon except Adventurer tokens and monsters that mention it. So that's it. That's it for the leaks. Let me know if you enjoyed these leaks. I know it was a light one today. We're going to do a big one tomorrow, and then the final part of this pack will be on Sunday. And then, you know what? The second pack that's coming, that's right, a second selection pack. I'm going to leak the entire thing either Sunday on YouTube or on Saturday. So I know I did say tomorrow would be this pack. I'm not sure. I have an entire pack that I'm going to pretty much just leak the entire thing. I'm not going to waste it. It'll probably be like a 20, 30-minute video, actually. It's a lot in the pack, and I figure, you know what? Let's put it all into one pack. And now you know what's going on. So thank you very much. Appreciate you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and show up to the Twitch stream for the big leak this Sunday. And we are out.